In the heart of old Italy, long before red suits, chimneys, and reindeer ruled the winter skies, children waited for someone else on the night before Epiphany. Not Santa Claus, not St. Nicholas, but a witch. Before we continue, subscribe us to support a bent broom-riding soot-smudged old woman named La Befana, the mysterious grandmother of Italian winter nights, and depending on who you asked, she was either a blessing or a warning. For some, she was the last echo of ancient Roman goddesses' spirits who protected the household and guarded the hearth. For others, she was a wandering soul, forever searching for a child she would never find. But for every child in Italy between the 1400s and 1800s, she was the figure who decided whether your new year began with sweetness or ashes. Imagine a cold January night in a 16th-century Tuscan village. The candles are low, the hearth crackles, and in the silence between the flames, parents whisper, "Be good," or "La Befana won't leave sweets, only coal." Children look nervously toward the shutters, half hoping and half fearing to catch a glimpse of her, a small, wiry woman in patched clothes, boots worn from centuries of wandering, broom in hand, scarf wrapped tight against the winter wind. They say she rides the night sky like smoke drifting across the moon. They say she slips down chimneys, leaving gifts as quietly as snowfall. And they say she knows your heart, not by magic, but by wisdom. Because unlike other winter spirits, La Befana isn't powerful, she's human, and her story begins with a mistake. The legend takes us back to the earliest years of Christianity, to the night the three wise men traveled toward Bethlehem. According to the tale, the Magi stop at a small house where an old woman is sweeping. She doesn't look up, she doesn't stop her broom, she keeps brushing the dust toward the door, muttering about dirt and order and the endlessness of housework. The Magi say, "We follow a star, we seek a king, will you come with us?" But La Befana, or whatever she was called back then, shakes her head. "I can't, I have too much sweeping to do." And so they leave her doorstep, starlight glimmering over their shoulders. Hours pass, silence grows, and then, regret. She realizes she may have missed something holy, something rare, fleeting, once in a lifetime. She grabs her broom, the only thing she owns, and runs out the door. But the night sky has swallowed the Magi's trail. She is too late. From that moment, she wanders, through hills and valleys, across villages and markets, knocking on doors, peering into windows, whispering, "Is the child here?" She never finds him, but every time she sees a sleeping child, she leaves a gift: sweet bread, dried fruit, a little toy carved from wood, just in case. This is the heart of her legend. La Befana is not a witch who curses. She is a mother searching for redemption in every home she visits. And so, every year, on the eve of Epiphany, the night before Christmas celebrations officially end in Italy, she flies again. But like many European holiday figures, La Befana didn't simply appear in Christianity. She grew out of something far older. Long before the church shaped her story, Italy had its house spirits, hearth guardians, and fertility goddesses. Some historians trace her back to Strenia, the Roman goddess of gifts, whose festival fell in early January. Others point to Diana, the moon goddess who flew across the sky during the winter season, blessing fields and homes. These spirits were protectors, especially of children, and they visited homes during the darkest months of the year. When Christianity spread, these myths didn't disappear. They adapted. The divine became humble, the goddess became a grandmother. The spirit became a story whispered beside the fire. By the 1400s, La Befana was beloved across Italy but deeply unsettling to church authorities. She was too pagan, too magical, too independent, and yet no decree could ban her. Parents refused to let her go. Children begged for her return every year. She was theirs. La Befana does not judge the way Santa later would, with lists and ledgers. Instead, she reads the character of the home she visits. Good children wait too. Candied fruits, honey cookies, tiny dolls, delicate sugar figurines, hand-stitched trinkets. Bad children, not pain, not fear, just a message, ashes, a reminder to do better. Sometimes the ashes weren't punishment at all, but a symbol of the hearth, of warmth, of rebirth from last year's fire. La Befana never harms. She corrects, she teaches, she hopes. Always hopes. By the 1700s, La Befana had become something rare, a winter figure who wasn't noble or holy, or terrifying. She was human, fragile, flawed, loving, regretful, the kind of figure who felt like family. Children left her wine and biscotti. Mothers prayed she'd bless their homes with a clean sweep of her broom. Villages honored her with festivals, songs, and parades. And though Santa Claus would later overshadow her, La Befana remained tied to Italy's identity, a reminder that winter traditions weren't always about gifts or spectacle. Sometimes they were about finding solace in an imperfect world. So who is La Befana? A witch, a saint, a myth stitched from pagan threads and Christian hope. Maybe she is something simpler, a story about regret and the gentleness that can grow from it. A reminder that even the humblest figure can become a guardian of children, and that sometimes the most human legends endure the longest. Today, across Italy, on the night before Epiphany, children still hang stockings, whispering, "Will La Befana find us this year?" She will, because she is still searching for the child she missed, and blessing every home she visits along the way. Would you welcome a witch on Christmas Eve?